Welcome back, friends. If you want to make it in crypto, you want to be a professional, you cannot let your emotions dictate your actions. When there are coins that go up or down, instead of blindly writing them off, I always investigate. Why is it going up? Why is it going down? And no, it has nothing to do with the news. Nothing to do with sentiment. Nothing. That is what newbies and retailers look for. That's people who see a move after they go to the YouTube influencers and they say, "Tell me, sir, please, please tell me why it's going up, please, we need to know." Humans love to attach a story to anything. They can't just accept that someone was bored and clicked buy or someone was bored and clicked sell. So now we are talking about Hex and Zen. Today's video, Hex and Zen. Okay? Alright, this is the crazy part. You look at the Zen part here. If you mirror it upwards, it looks like the word Hex. So Zen is the inverse of Hex. Not just from its price chart. So, they can laugh. Okay, yay, this thing's going down. Woohoo, down 99.99%. Here it is. Yes, it's down that much. Its liquidity is being drained. Yes, we can see that part. And here's Hex's chart. Hex has gone up. Even from day one of the adoption amplifier, Hex is up after this much time. I think it's up 6x from the AA on day one. Yes, it went down. It got absolutely crushed. And then, yes, did 10,000x from the bottom. We know that story, whatever. Okay, so you can see that. Even if you just do halfway, even if you got Uniswap listing, even if you got at the end of the AA up here, you're still up today. 25x, it hit 670x at the top. So we can see something's going on here. Hex goes up and Zen has gone down. Zen has not been long enough for us to really, see what's going on. But I'm going to go through the features to show you why Zen is the inverse of Hex. Okay, so Zen is the inverse of Hex, not just its price chart. We're going to go through each little point. Number one, they gave all the coins for free. So Hex required an AA. So Zen gave their coins for free, minting. Yeah, it costs $1 or $2. It's basically free, like the electricity to run your computer, right? So you would think, right, this is a common misconception. You would think if you have more adoption equals winning. Yes. But how do you get the adoption, man? How? Like everyone in the world has adopted water. We all like drinking water. Is water worth a lot? No. There's water everywhere. Okay? People will still, fight over jewelry and Rolexes and gold and stuff, right? Even though we've all adopted water. So think about that for a second. It's the same in crypto. You need a limited supply on the supermarket shelf for your item. If you just hand everything out, there's no scarcity anymore. People don't want it. Because we don't really need anything in life except food, water, and just a roof over your head, clothes on your back. You don't actually really need all this. Like, do you need to go buy stocks in a company? Do you need to really go buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or Zen or Hex? You don't really need that. You're still going to live. Your heart's still going to beat. Okay? So, number two. Jack injects liquidity by providing bids as it seeks down. There's no proof of that. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Right, I can actually show you the chart. So, as Zen's price has gone down, right, its price has gone down, the liquidity's gone up. And we can see, has it stopped anything? No. Okay, liquidity is getting drained. The price is still getting crushed. So what's actually happening here? All those people who minted Zen at the start are just dumping. They're dumping. They're going, they're saying, yeah, Zen, Zen, Zen. You know what they've actually seen? They've seen their wallets with theoretical value of today's price in 400 days when they get all the inflation out and they can dump on retail. That's what they've actually seen. It's no different to anything else. So that's what they're really excited about. They're excited about seeing that big fat number. But none of the messaging is saying to buy Zen to support it. So as the price is going down, someone's providing liquidity. Unfortunately, what's actually happening is, look, what I conclude, this is me. Could be wrong. I don't care. You want to learn how I make decisions? This is how I make decisions. I think Jack Levin, the founder, or one of his companies or whatever, the legal mumbo jumbo, no one cares. Jack Levin is providing liquidity as it goes down, maybe to help it, to support it. But actually, he's kind of learning the hard way. All he's doing is providing exit liquidity for the weak handers. That's all he's doing, right? So that's why it's the inverse. So what I say with the inverse here, with Hex on this chart, see how this chart went up from here, okay? Once again, don't have any facts for any of these. I'm just walking through with you how I conclude this. See how Hex went up and Hex went up again, right? You can actually just look at this supermassive pump part. That supermassive pump part, my conclusion is, this is just me, fairy tale stories. I believe it was Richard Hart pumping Hex, saying, thank you for supporting, thank you for believing, thank you for delaying your gratification and staking and holding. You will now be rewarded. I want to reward good people in life. I'm now rewarding you. That's how I interpret the language of this chart. That is the inverse of the Zen chart, right? So if Richard rewarded long-term stakers and believers and holders, he rewarded that aspect. What have you been rewarded with in Zen? You were rewarded if you literally spammed the network to mint coins at the start and dump. That's what you're rewarded with. Were you rewarded for buying? Nope. Were you rewarded for holding? No. You weren't rewarded. So leave your bias out the door. What were you rewarded for? You were rewarded if you went and you spammed the network for coins, short-term staking and liquidity, dumped, okay? That's what you're rewarded for. So let's move on to the next point. Point number 3. Zen is long-term inflationary. That's 4 to 8 years, right? It eventually stops, but man, 4 to 8 years in crypto is a long time. I said Hex did all the big inflation in year 1, and then it slowed down dramatically. So that's another point, right? So he's literally just inversed all the features. I don't know why. Maybe he thinks like, if I was to just interject here, look, you might not like Richard Hart or Hexicans or Pulse Chain or whatever. You might not like them. But if I changed the symbol and the ticker and the name and I just called this coin X, you would say to me, oh my God, please show me what's going on with this coin. Why did it go up? What are the mechanics? Right? Don't lie to yourself. You'd be very interested in this, right? So the fact that he's inversed all of these just kind of tells me there's some bad blood, hatred, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe he just wants a Voltron vampire. I don't know. So, next thing. Point number 4. Zen marketing is don't buy Zen, mint it. That is literally the inverse of Hex's marketing, which is buy Hex because it's getting more rare. Right? So, you know, as a basic, very, very basic. Right? So, there's Hex and there's USDC. And the marketing message of Hexicans is place USDC in the pool, yeah, and take Hex out for yourself. It's getting more rare. And someone, maybe Richard, demonstrated the right move to do is to place USDC in the pool and take out Hex, because he, during this pump, he put a lot of USDC in the pool and he took out a lot of Hex. Okay, I'm just guessing. Don't have any facts. You get the point, right? Wink, wink. So, what about with Zen? Zen, now you have to think. Is someone coming to pump this up? I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you know if Jack Levin's got 50 million to inject? Because what Richard Hart did was literally a miracle. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like this again, unless a billionaire discovers Richard and wants to copy-paste his fame. That might be a third cycle prophecy competition thing later. We'll worry about that in 2025, 2026, after Hex has hit $1. So don't worry about that now. But Zen's different. It's inverse. It's different in the wrong way. They're marketing. They're not saying buy Zen. There's no unified message. They're just saying mint. Mint, 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 mint. Maybe in the future it's buy Zen, but man, there's so much inflation, man. It's gone out to the short-term believers. With Hex, the inflation's going to long-term people. So maybe game theory says if you're in something for 5 or 10 years, you got more incentive to tell people to buy rather than now. It's just something to think about, right? Next point. Point number 5. So Jack Levin actually says have expectations. There's a video of him saying it. It's a zoom up of his head saying have expectations. And then Hex marketing is don't have expectations. You do the work yourself. Alright, so I just threw this in as like just it's like a black and white inverse thing, right? Doesn't really mean too much in the grand scheme of things. They're just, you know, words here. Point number 6. Zen is rewarded to people who minted first. So that's who it's rewarding. We know that. If you minted Zen first, you got it and you got to sell at these premium prices, which is literally just Jack Levin's liquidity, providing a bid on the way down. Okay. Hex rewards people who stake for longer. If you buy Hex today and stake it for 1 year, but I buy Hex later and stake it for 10 years, I'm going to get the enormous amount of inflation compared to you. But in Zen, if you get in early and you stake, you win. That's the game theory. The game theory is you win, right? So if you run this out for the future, I don't think people are going to feel early after 3 months, 12 months. I don't think they are. I hope to be wrong, right? Remember, I can be proven wrong if Jack Levin comes and puts like 50 million liquidity and pumps it. I'm happy to admit, okay, we got to pay attention now, wait for a big dip, and then we get in because there'll be a community coming. But without that big pump, what's happening? You rewarded short-term dumpers. Look at everybody's wallets, man. They're all minted and dumped. They're all waiting for that day 350 to come out so they can just take whatever is left of this liquidity pool. Who else is putting money in it? The only way this liquidity gets bigger is if people buy Zen, right? So this brings me on to my next point. The final point. Jack Levin has a multiple asset approach. So he has Zen, and I'll buy NFTs with Burn and Mint. And then there's going to make another Reflect token, right? I call this a closed circle Ponzi. So if you get upset at that word, please, you're not going to make it in crypto. This is the oldest trick in the book, right? So you have coin A, right? Let's just do this. Yes, you have coin A, and then you're like, hey, we're going to make another coin B, which gives you C that you can stake and yield. And then basically someone wants exit liquidity for A. I'm not saying Jack Levin wants exit liquidity. I'm just saying this is what ends up happening. You end up getting C, and they make something else to D, and then like, it's basically just doing one big circle. And the whole goal is to get people to stop thinking about coin A, which you might call Zen, right? So that's your whole goal. Your whole goal is, okay, I've got an ecosystem here. You've got coin A, B, C, D, right? So you got Zen, you got, Reflect token here. You're going to have something else, C, and then coin D later on. And your goal is to make everyone forget that Zen is hyperinflationary. That's your goal. So you want them just to think, okay, I want to get coin B to stake for coin C, which burns and gives me coin D later on. You want people to start thinking about that. So what do they start doing? They come and they auto buy A, and then they go do their little thing. But it's a closed circle because you're not recruiting people into the pie. You're just trying to split the pie differently. So I'm just explaining to you, this is a common crypto Ponzi yield thing. I'm not saying Zen's doing it. Well, they kind of are, right? You got Zen NFTs, you got the Reflect token coming next. What comes next? They're all their goals is to make like deflation on Zen, right? So just letting you know, man, this can still go up, yeah? This can still go up. Just like how everyone was wrong about Hex, Big Daddy came and I don't know how much he put, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 million, who knows? I don't know how much was pushed up. But now you got to assess the odds. Do we think Jack Levin's going to do that? He's inversed everything. So you're trying to assess the odds. And the best part is, this is the best part when you're listening to me. I'm a trader, man. There is a price too low and a price too high for everything out there, okay? I am not telling you, never, ever, ever pay attention to this, whatever. I'm not saying that, man. I've already admitted to you, I am more than happy, man. If Jack wants to put $20 million into this, and then it dumps minus 80% on a correction, and the community's there, and I see some prospects, and the marketing message changes to buy Zen, and, maybe Trayvon's wallets get overwhelmed, and, Trayvon ends up having 4 or 5 million because of his mints. If I see that happening, I am more than happy to do what I did with Hex. Because I was only getting at the start, man. I waited for this big payday. I got in after here. Remember, I couldn't see this day one Uniswap chart. So I just saw 85% drop. Bang, I'm in. Okay? So, but I hated Hex at the start. Thought it was a scam. So, this is something to think about. We have the inverse. The inverse happening here. It's very strange. And obviously, this is the Hex versus Zen chart. So, we're going to keep paying attention, but, why listen to me? I want to go through why does a coin go up? Why does it go down? Because that's the only way we're going to make it here, all right? We need an edge over everyone else. We need an edge. I've gone through all the points here. Maybe you've learned something new, all right? This is not, I'm on team red and I'm on team blue, whatever. Let all the monkeys play that game. We don't care. I don't care. It's all about network effect. Is the network effect growing or is it slowing? And me and you know, man, me and you know, when you get some big, juicy, fat, thick green candles, this is Hex chart, yeah, you get some people joining the network. They go, oh, what's going on here? That's their reaction, okay? But when you have red after red after red, when you have that, people aren't super excited. They eventually, the network effect decays over time, okay? It decays over time. So it's literally like that chart. So yes, you have, start up here. Oh yeah, good network effect, and then it decays over time, all right? It decays over time. The only way for you to make the community bigger is a higher price. You need more people in the community. So Jack has handed Zen out everywhere. Is the community growing? You might say, yeah, but would you buy this? Probably not yet. So think about it. So just like I said with water, water's got a great network effect, Would you pay $4,000 for a bottle of water? You're like, hey, if everyone in the world adopts it, If you were hosting like a birthday party, would you charge $1,000 for a bottle? You're like, oh, well, it's adopted. Everybody drinks water. No, it's because they can live without it. That's why. They can live without it. The Hex marketing is you can't live without this. So whether or not you believe it's true or not, the community has been around. It's super strong. They're still onboarding. They convince a lot of people. This is a community you want to be a part of, all right? So just messaging differently. Just assessing it, If Zen wants to surprise us all and Jack goes, screw it, I've got 50 million to put in because we don't know how much money he has. Maybe he wants to inject it. He says, hey, I'm showing you, you should be buying Zen. But it's unlikely he'll do that because he's not even saying to buy Zen. He's saying you should mint it. Effectively, he's saying, I've left bids for you. Come and mint and dump on me. And maybe later on, there's going to be another coin and the closed circle stuff. So 2 experiments going on, right? There's 2 experiments. We're going to be watching from the sidelines. But, or you could say, wait, 1 coin goes down and 1 coin goes up. Maybe it is really as simple as that. All right. So until next time, friends.